366 feet, 0.4 inches, 366.4. Hey, here's Reed Aberelli pulling the Chevy Duramax. 290.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back. We have gone sled pulling the last 3 weekends in a row, and I just have not had time to get those videos put together and posted for you. Just going back to back here. So I'm just gonna do them all here at once, put all the videos in, explain what happened leading up to just a whole lot of carnage for me. So let's just dive right in. So that first hook, everything went great. You know, third gear, truck singing along at 4,100 RPM, 23 mile an hour, putting the power down, did great, loved it, great hook. Put it back on the trailer, came home, no problem. So the second hook just really didn't go all that great. It was okay, but it really could have been a lot better just by me doing a couple of little things differently. So just to start out with, it was about 10:30, 10:45 at night in Ottawa, Illinois. It was just kind of spit and rain, so just not a great situation to begin with. And I forgot to do just a couple of little things that would have made a lot of difference. So when you go into sled pulling, there's just a whole list of things that you do when you hook up to the sled. And you have to do them in the right order and just make sure that you get them all done, or else things aren't going to go quite correctly. And a lot of guys actually just make a checklist and post it on the dash, that way they can't forget. So for instance, I pull up to the sled in two-wheel drive and back up to it. And when the operator is actually installing the hook, I go ahead and drop it into neutral, put the truck in 4 low, then make sure the shifter's back down into third. I turn my tow haul on, I make sure that my E-locker is set, and I pull my alley locker out to make sure that I can disengage the torque converter at the end of the track when the sled hits, and then we're ready to go, right? So if anything kind of gets messed up in that order, you forget something, and they're all very, very important things. And one thing that I had done is I had my lights on, and so basically I was all set and ready to go, but the flaggers kept telling me to stop, trying to figure out what was going on. And so finally I put the truck back into park, figured out that they just wanted me to turn my lights off, and then put it back down into drive. So didn't realize this, instead of locking into third, I was allowing the truck to go all the way up to 5th gear. I also realized I had the tune in tune 4, not tune 5, so we were not basically throwing the max amount of fuel that we could. So between those two things, the truck was bogged down for a good amount of the run. I was able to get it shifted into third. You can hear it kind of ramp back up towards the end of the pull, but at that point it was too late. That still got 5th, I think, pulling 305 feet. Okay, so what happened here? This track is notorious for this. Basically, it is a completely clay track, so it's extremely sticky. You get tons of traction here. So if you've got a lot of power and you got a lot of traction, all of that loading goes into the drivetrain, and it's got to be able to withstand it, or something's going to break, right? And so this track, there's never just one drive shaft that breaks at this track. There's always multiple. I think there was 4 or 5 tonight, or the night that we were pulling. So I'm not at all surprised that this finally happened. It's kind of an inevitable thing. You know, the truck's making 650 horse plus, you know, at this point. This is the stock drive shaft with stock U-joints in it, right? So they're 1410s on the stock steel drive shaft. Truck's got 359,000 miles and about 30 sled pulls on it, sled hooks on it. So this thing did not owe me a single thing, and I'm actually extremely impressed that it held up as long as it did. You can see it behind me here, and it's in pretty rough shape at this point. What's amazing to me is that the U-joints, which are Spicer U-joints, those are only about a year old. They are in perfect shape, a little rusty obviously, but that's it. But look at the twist that happened on this guy. Just completely mangled the thing, made it look like a noodle. I actually did not know there's this foam inside drive shaft either. I don't know if it's just for balancing or what, but anyway. So this guy is completely destroyed. This part was actually sticking underneath the sled, had gotten ran over by the sled, and luckily I had this guy enclosed in some loops, and so it was safely it was banging around, but it wasn't actually hitting anything underneath the truck besides those loops, which is good. So not really a big deal. to be able to get this fixed. I was able to swap it out pretty quickly, at least get it out of there. So I am looking as far as what I should get in its place right now. So that's where I'm at, guys. Basically, I am looking into options for this, whether I go with a big aluminum one or just a heavier built steel one with 1480 U-joints. If I end up going with 1480s, I will have to swap out the pinion to be able to make room for one with the 1480 U-joint housing and that kind of stuff, in which case I will show that whole install. But basically look for that here in a week or two, kind of figure out what we need to do. I've got several more hooks I want to do, but we've got some vacations coming up, so it might be a little bit, we'll kind of see. But other than that, guys, I've got basically 2 or 3 sled pull events worth of footage to show you, so enjoy.
0.4 inches, 340.4. Hey, that's where you guys are out. You should be making away. Smoke them if you got them. 304.91. Eric Bear, first 3 line. Track 8500 work stop. Put it to work here. Logging it in 3295. Great cars over here in the Duramax coming down the track on the inside. Locking it in, 284.83. Our 6,500-pound modified class, the IFPA on the west track. So we dug holes in the Red Rider over there. What you got, Logan?